There's a small machine with a very large lesson. It arrived in bank branches about 45 years ago, and people assumed it would quietly erase an entire profession. Its name was the automated teller machine. The logic seemed obvious. If machines could dispense cash, why would banks need human tellers? And yet, something unexpected happened. Instead of disappearing, the number of bank tellers in the United States grew from roughly 250,000 in 1970 to well over 500,000 today. Automation arrived. The job didn't vanish. That paradox sits at the center of today's anxiety about artificial intelligence. Because now, the machine isn't a box of gears behind glass. It's a model you can talk to. It writes, it answers, it proposes, it debugs, it learns from us, and in some ways, learns faster than we do. And we are asking the same question our grandparents asked in factories and fields. Will this take my job? Let's not answer it with a headline. Let's answer it with a system. This story is not about whether AI will take all the jobs. It's about which parts of jobs are being automated, which parts become more valuable, and why employment has continued to grow for more than a century, even as machines have grown more capable. We'll look at what history tells us, what the data says about the next decade, which jobs are already changing, and where human advantage still matters. Not to panic, but to plan. Fear of job-destroying technology is not new. In the early 1800s, skilled textile workers known as the Luddites smashed mechanized looms, convinced machines would make them obsolete. In the early 1900s, nearly 40% of Americans worked in agriculture. Mechanization promised to eliminate most of those jobs. It did, but the country didn't collapse into permanent unemployment. Instead, people moved into manufacturing, then into services, then into professions that didn't exist before: electricians, radiology technicians, software developers, UX designers. The pattern is clear. Technology doesn't eliminate work. It changes its composition. When people say AI is taking jobs, they're usually describing something more specific. AI is taking tasks. Jobs are bundles of tasks, some routine, some judgmental, some relational. Automation attacks the routine first. That's why ATM took cash handling but not customer trust. Why spreadsheets automated arithmetic but not financial judgment. Why GPS replaced map reading but not deciding where to go. Economists call this task substitution, and it leads to a counterintuitive effect. When routine tasks are automated, the remaining human tasks often become more valuable, not less. The job doesn't disappear, it changes shape. There's an economic concept called the O-ring principle. It's named after the 1986 Challenger disaster, caused by the failure of a single, inexpensive rubber seal. In complex systems, every component matters. The system is only as strong as its weakest link. Modern jobs increasingly work the same way. As AI automates predictable components, data entry, basic coding, form filling, the importance of human judgment at critical points increases. We become the O-rings, not because we do everything, but because we do what cannot fail. There's another principle at work, the never get enough principle. In 1900, 40% of Americans worked on farms. Today, it's less than 2%. We didn't run out of things to do when machines learned to grow food. We invented new wants, new industries, new kinds of work. Automation doesn't create a vacuum. It creates new shapes of demand. Now let's talk about today, because AI is already reshaping work in visible ways. Copywriting. Generative models can produce articles, ads, and product descriptions in seconds. Companies reduced freelance budgets. Junior writing roles shrank. But writing didn't vanish. Humans became editors, strategists, brand guardians. The routine part of writing was automated. The judgment-heavy part became more valuable. Customer support. Chatbots handle millions of inquiries every day. Call centers trimmed entry-level roles, but escalation work grew. When systems fail, when emotions rise, when context matters, humans step in. AI filters the easy cases. People handle the hard ones. Software development. AI assistants now generate boilerplate code, suggest fixes, even build prototypes. Entry-level roles focused on repetition shrink. Senior roles focused on architecture and systems grow. The job doesn't disappear. It polarizes. Medical imaging. AI flags anomalies. Doctors still decide. Machines accelerate. Humans remain accountable. Across industries, the pattern holds. Routine moves to machines. Responsibility stays human. Let's ground this in data. Economic models suggest that nearly 30% of work hours could be automated over the next decade. Globally, projections show tens of millions of jobs displaced, but even more created. The real threat is not the absence of work, it is misalignment, a mismatch between what people know and what the economy needs. Healthcare, renewable energy, social services, and technical fields continue to grow. The problem is not a shortage of jobs, it's a shortage of prepared people. These numbers are not a prophecy, they are a map. If this is helping you see the future more clearly, take a moment to support the work. Like this episode, subscribe to How the Future Works. This channel exists to replace noise with understanding. No hype, no panic. Just clarity about the systems shaping your life. If that's the kind of thinking you want more of, this is where it lives. Now, here's where the story becomes personal. Our eye exposure is not evenly distributed. Jobs built around predictable information processing face higher disruption. Ironically, many high-income knowledge roles are more exposed than manual or care-based work. Because empathy, physical presence, leadership, and trust are difficult to automate. A machine can draft a report. It cannot own a decision. A model can generate options. It cannot understand consequences in a human sense. This is why trades, healthcare, education, and management remain resilient, even as white-collar tasks transform. Modern AI systems are often described as black boxes. Even their creators cannot fully explain how specific outputs are produced. This creates three persistent failures: bias, hallucination, false confidence. Because of this, professionals treat AI output as drafts, not decrees. They verify, they contextualize, they take responsibility, and responsibility cannot be automated. When we look at skills projected to grow fastest, a pattern emerges: analytical thinking, creative problem-solving, adaptability, leadership, empathy. These are not anti-technology skills. They are technology complementary. The safest position is not human versus machine. It is human with machine. This is sometimes called AI superagency. People using tools to expand their reach without surrendering judgment. Looking ahead, there are four possible paths: a future of extreme polarization, a future of slow adaptation, a future of coordinated upskilling, or a future of community-led innovation. Technology does not choose. Institutions do, policies do, people do. Think of an orchestra. A synthesizer can mimic every instrument perfectly, but it is not music. Music needs a conductor, tempo, silence, emotion, meaning. AI is the instrument. You are the conductor. It's tempting to see AI as an ending. History says it's a transition. Work has never been static, and it has never been purely technical. When agriculture mechanized, societies invested in education. When industry automated, they expanded services and management. Each time, the response, not the technology, determined the outcome. So the real question is not whether AI will change your job. It is whether you will change with it. Map your tasks, automate what's routine, strengthen what requires judgment. Learn how to work with models. Develop skills that amplify agency. If institutions fail, communities will adapt. We always do. But adaptation should not be accidental. It should be intentional. The future is not something that happens to us. It is something we build. AI is the instrument. You are the conductor. Don't panic, plan.